Thank you for watching this Echoes World Affairs. Here we give you what happens around the world with some analysis so that you can have an informed opinion. My name is Shegun Johnson, and to discuss all the vital issues of this day, we have in the Lagos studio, we have Bidi Nanan. Bidi, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Shegu. Good morning. Hello, viewers. Good to have you on here today.
In the seat of power in Abuja, we have Dr. Osita Anyemeka. Dr. Osita, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Hello, viewers.
And our man in Milan is the one we call Massive Mark. Mark Godwin, you are welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Shegun. Good morning, Bidi. Good morning, Dr. Osita. It's good to see you guys again.
Yeah, welcome. I'm so glad you have been personal. It's good, especially during Christmas period like this. Well, for the first time, Zelensky left his country, Ukraine, and went to, the country, United States of America, who has been taking this Ukrainian war as personal. A lot of money has gone into it, and we must say that the Republicans are going to get in control of the House of Representatives come the 3rd of January 2023. For this reason, things may not be plain smooth moving like it used to be. And so it's important that Zelensky collecting billions of dollars in military aid to go. And he was well received like the lost son of Biden. And I was looking the way Biden was holding him and was pampering him. And it was like, this is my lost son. Of course, remember, Joe Biden lost his son in the war. So he's treating Zelensky like a son. But more importantly is that Biden himself has been attached to Ukraine even before the war with some of the American scandals surrounding it. But let me allow my colleagues to have an input into this one. Dr. Osita, you are a proprietor of University of Diplomacy.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
you. Everybody knows that Zelensky is an actor. Everybody knows that he's an actor. But his performance in the US in the last couple of hours was extreme. He knew his audience. One, he knew that he was talking to an audience that could save his country or destroy it. So he chose his words. He chose his face look. He chose his gestures. And like you said, he knew that he had a warm welcome from the president of the United States. Biden, was like clapping him. But the issue at stake is, come January next year, what's going to happen to Zelensky? What's going to happen to the war? So he's careful not to create problems. He's careful not to say the wrong things because he has so much to say. But he's also careful to get them to warm up to him because what he's facing in his country is yet to be resolved. So what we're looking at now is that if America, withholds aid to Ukraine, it will be difficult for Zelensky to raise his head up come the first month of next year. But that's not all. There's also the need for him to use America to garner hope and help, from the rest of the West. Because whatever America does for Ukraine come January is what others will follow. So yes, that visit was important to him because he needed to leave Ukraine for them to see him that he's still alive, really, and then also see him as somebody who can warm up to them and make sure that the relationship does not break, with the Republicans taking over in January.
Oh, thank you very much. Bidi, Zelensky, we thought would have lost the war by now. He was an actor before he became the president, but he has held on against Putin. Unbelievable, even to Putin himself. And is getting to a year now, and he's still standing. How has he been managing this one?
Well, yeah, he has been actor before he became a president. And I would say, like, it's far from acting. I think he's living his real self now. The man is a very strong man. He has a very strong willpower. And this his trip to US, what actually got my attention in that trip was the statement he made. He was giving an audience at the Congress to speak, and there's a statement he made. He said to US, you should not see this your head as a charity. You should see it as an investment.
That's
Going
right.
back to what the poster said, that he was careful of his words, his gesture, everything about him. And this is a kind of, it's like he's losing hope. But coming to this America has really gathered more hope for him and for all the Ukraine. And next year, I think things will change from what I've seen getting to this visit to the United States he made.
Wow.
The
Massive
strong
mark
man.
in me. Oh, thank you. Mark, do you believe that things will change because Putin is going to fight Ukraine throughout the winter? His ego is being bashed. How could things change? I personally want this war to stop, but I'm not Putin, I'm not Zelensky, I'm not Biden. But it appears that Putin wants him to surrender. He wants some form of gain to show the rest of the world he is Mr. Russia and Mr. Superpower. Will things really change, or we will see Russia destroying Ukraine more?
We hope and pray things change, Dr. Shagun. It has not been a very pleasant time globally, not only on Russians and Ukrainians, but on the world as a whole. Zelensky's visit to the US is a very special one. He's making this first trip outside his homeland since they invaded Ukraine almost many days ago now. He was there on Monday, and our wonderful friends have all said it. BD said he said the money is not a charity, and that's true. He confirmed that by saying an investment in the global security and democracy in Ukraine will also replicate around the world. So Zelensky, like Dr. Osita also said, being a showman, was able to also make some very good statements. And we hope this will go down into this part of this war, this very unnecessary war, and we hope to see a change. We just prayed for a change.
Okay, he has been a good actor, because we just have to leave it this way. Dr. Sita, will Zelensky be your front page man of the year for being a good actor in the real world?
Yes. Acting is unique, but for Zelensky, it is the way he presents his case. He gets the crux of the matter out. He gets it out, whether by by language or by nonverbal cues. But he has the power to present his case, and he has done that to the rest of the world. What he did in America was just a combination of what he has been doing all this while. Since the war started, you said it too, Dr. Johnson. People thought that by now Ukraine will have sunk under. That was what Putin had hoped. But the man held on. He will annoy Putin. He will keep quiet, annoy him again. The world will support him. NATO will talk to him, and he keeps going back and forth. That's the power of acting. Yes, I will name him man of the year.
And he normally he chooses his words, like you rightly said, and BD rightly said. He says this money is not charity. And BD is looking for charity money, but in his own case, he says it's not charity.
About being an actor.
And he also said something about. Oh, okay, go ahead, BD. Go ahead.
About being an actor, he's a strong-willed man, and he's a man that is so passionate about his country.
And I think
so. Apart from that, he also said something that was very funny, and the whole house, the chamber went out. Everybody laughed to their head. He said, He said we have enough artillery. Yes, we have enough artillery.
Yeah.
There's enough really that I think what he meant by that also is they need more of cash and more
I think the man has tried because we never gave him a chance against a raging Putin, and
but Dr. Ibe is not here to say otherwise.
Yeah, we will have loved
We would like him to come for this topic. We need him to come and talk on this. Unfortunately, he's not here.
While we are moving on, Bidi, you have an NGO and you normally cook for some underprivileged. So what are you doing this Christmas for them? Tell us the name and what you're supposed to do.
But I have a pet project. It's called Feed Someone in Nigeria. And this pet project started in 2013. And what we do is that every festive period, we cook food and we package, we share cooked and uncooked food. We actually started in Lagos. As we speak, we are already in 3 states in Nigeria. It's the only in Lagos we share cooked food because that is the one I want, that's where I'm in. But the one we send to other states, it is uncooked food. We package them, we send them, and we distribute them. And this year is coming, starting next tomorrow. So we are soliciting for support, for help, anything. Just support us. We need food, we need drinks, we need meat, so we can reach as many as possible. I call it feeding people who don't know. So join me.
I'm going to ask the studio to show us a clip of what you have done before, so that studio, is it possible you show us what she has done over the years so people will know?
The studio is really sorry for this.
Maybe before the end of the program.
Yes, sorry for that. Sorry.
Dr. Sita, suddenly we heard that there was a coup in Gambia, albeit an unsuccessful coup. How did this happen again? Now we've had successful coups in Guinea, in Mali, in Sudan, and as soon as they had a coup, they will remove them from AU or suspend them. And we thought it's the end of the coup. Those who had coups, they were not invited to the United States. Not that it matters, but so who will ever imagine our man in Gambia? He left he left London, where he was Argos security officer. He became the president of Gambia. I understand that Gambians are not happy about him, the way he's running the country. But the worst of it all, there was an attempt on his government, albeit an unsuccessful one. Dr. Sita, what's going on there?
Gambia, that's the country, has been very unfortunate with leadership. The former head of state, that became politician, became that because he wielded power through the barrels of a gun. But what happened to Adama Barrow is that the 4 gentlemen were the 4 soldiers who were arrested, were the ones who had always been vociferous about his regime, but they were not the only ones who are unhappy. Even civilians are very unhappy. But the case of coup d'etat in West Africa is rising, and like you said, some of them are quiet because they are going to expel them, but some of them are taking the risk because when they see what's going on in their country, when they see how the country is being handled, when they see the corruption and the lack of respect for human rights, they want to take the risk. But Barrow's case is unique because most people who don't like him don't come out plainly to talk about it. So what his surprise is that even amongst his people, members of his cabinet, some of them knew that there were plans of there was anathema and disgust, but nobody spoke with him. So when this happened, albeit not successful, there is also more fear. Even after this has happened, there's also more fear that the country is not safe yet because something might still go, happen. But AU is interested, ECOWAS is interested, and Nigeria is interested because the more peace we have in the region, the more peace we have in Africa. And the more peace we have in Africa, the more possibility of having friends and partners for development. That's the way people see.
I want to ask you a very serious question. those who sitting in Asoro,
Yes,
Dr. Sita, because I know this
yes,
is your area, those sitting in Asoro, and they're seeing that
yes,
one by one the states are
yes,
having coups in their region, or shall I say in their sub-region of West Africa. Are they sitting
yes.
comfortably? Because I
Mm.
know that during the Shagari regime, the ministers are waking up and saying, are we still in power? During Jonathan regime, he was waking up and asking his colleagues, are we still in power? Do you think that kind of question is going on in Abuja? They wake up and say, gentlemen, are we still in power? You think this will be scaring them?
I am very happy you asked this question because amongst our clique, we've been talking about this since August this year. The issue is this: the man in power in Nigeria is the general. Call him retired general or whatever. The military has a cautious climate. They are very particular about who is their commander in chief. If,
Mm,
for instance, this is me giving my knowledgeable input. If, for
mm,
instance, anybody in the military today, within the powers that be, what you might call broach the idea of a military takeover, in 16 hours it will leak.
wow.
16 hours. Yes, that's the maximum I can give it. And because that can happen, people are being very careful about it. I was in Jaji when one of the coups happened. If you see how the military intelligence works, you will know that they will know. Everybody has an except of who and who and who. So even when they are playing question, anybody talks about whatever, the rest run away because they don't want to be where it is mentioned at all. So to answer your question directly, sir,
Yes.
yes, people are asking questions. Why is this man still there? Nonchalant, impunity, intimidation, and he has gone safely through 8 years, so to
Mm,
speak. The answer is that the man alone is not in power. There is a clique,
mm.
like a supreme rulers council that is working with him, and they are not his ministers. They are not
Wow.
his ministers. These are the people who he speaks with. He's a very smart man who he speaks with
Mm.
about himself and about his protection in Aso Rock. And that helps him a lot because
Really? Thank you,
some
sir.
of the trips that
Really?
he makes,
Yeah.
they're not all medical. They are not all medical trips. Yes.
Ah, thank you
Nice,
for telling us what we don't know. They're not all medical
nice,
trips. What
nice.
what kind of trick could that be?
Mm.
Security trip.
Yeah.
Security trip. Bidi, Gambia is a small country by
I
any
won't
standard.
I won't be able to tell you all of that now. You want them to take me out?
It was a tricky one. I agree with you. And the BD has said it's a security trip. BD, Gambia is a small country by the Nigerian standard. It's a country of 30 miles breadth by 80 miles length. And the country is divided into two by River Gambia. It used to be 500,000 population. Now they are nearing 1 million. Nigeria used to be their military officers. Nigeria supplied them army until recently. Nigerian was their chief justice. Nigerian lawyers had to move in at independence. It's a small country, but it's got a tiny coastline. People
Nigeria was the first vice chancellor.
of Nigerian first vice
First vice
chancellor.
chancellor, Nigerian,
He's
yes.
like a baby boy. He's like a baby brother, the last baby brother of Nigeria. In many form, they used to have only groundnut as their export crop. Now they have tourism, and so it's not a big country at all. And they've witnessed two coups now. Dauda Jawara, like Dr. Sita was saying, was taken away by Jame, and Jame now conceded election result, or was forced to concede, and now coup again in such a small country. What do you think? What do you think is going on in the minds of Africans? African leaders. How do we make democracy work?
what is going on in the minds of African leaders is the same thing that is going on, has been going on in their minds. The thing is this, African leaders actually care about what happens around them. But caring is not enough. Action, it is what is required in Africa to get things straight. If you look at what is happening in Gambia or what has been happening in Gambia, it's not a new thing. Everybody was expecting that Adama Barrow as a president in Gambia would change a lot of things as a democratic government. But I must be frank with you, that is not forthcoming. The situation in Gambia is not really favorable to all the people in Gambia. You know, their way of living, everything. So, people should not be surprised with this coup. People should not be surprised because people are not happy. As much as people are not speaking, they are not happy. And you and I, outside the Gambia, know that it's not really going down well with people in Gambia. So the African leaders who are not happy, what are they doing? Are they are talking the talk, are they walking the talk? Certainly they are not. So until they walk their talk, it will still remain like that. And it will still extend to other countries. And like it asked about our president don't even care because he knows he's in charge. The president has explained it better. So if African countries, African leaders want things to work better in Gambia, they should walk their talk.
Okay, thank you. Massive Mark in Milan. Barrow left London and we thought he was going to plant a good level of democracy in Gambia. It's not working. Diasporans, are they the best for the problems going on in Africa? Diasporans, what would you like to say?
That's a very, very good question, Dr. Shagun. Diasporans should actually be a very pivotal instrument to good leadership in Africa, because diasporans have seen and gained a lot of experience, but we are not seeing that happen. Yes, we know Adama Barrow when he was in the UK, and he came back home, took over government, and a lot of people were expecting more from him, like we do from most of these leaders that are from diaspora. Take note. Sierra Leone, Liberia has its diaspora leader, Sierra Leone, and all of them. But we're not seeing much changes. In the Gambian case, anyway, these like Dr. Sita said, is the soldiers that were behind this recent coup plot. The soldiers were behind it, and that's because they know the man. They know the man. They are close to him. So he's not doing much. Gambia hasn't done too well economically, but we hope something will change as soon as possible.
Mark, you heard what happened in Fiji Island. Can you believe the Fiji Island leader lost election and is not leaving and roll out the military? Tell us more.
Yes, the Fiji man. That's Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama, something like that. Yes,
Okay.
some of the things we need to know is Fiji is in the South Pacific Ocean side of the world, close to New Zealand and some of those countries there. So yes, they had election, and the man was defeated, but he's not conceding to the poll defeat. So what he did was bring out military to push back some protests, and it's not too nice doing that. There is a coalition of some forces together that want him to go away, and they've done all in their power. One, Sitivini Rubeka, they have strange names there too. So yeah, some very funny strange names.
We're on live television. They have some names there. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, so Fiji is not presently. There is a strong curfew And we hope it doesn't turn violent, because some group are still trying to come out with force to protest. So the prime minister is not, he refused to concede to the defeat, and he's retaining power. Take note that him also came in through a coup, more like a coup. Yes, he came in like a coup in 2006 thereabouts. So this is happening, and he's not budging. So this is
okay, let me ask Dr. Osita. Dr. Osita, you did not tell me that Donald Trump, he wrote a book of how to refuse and reject election results that this man Frank in Fiji Island has gone to read. I'm yet to read that book. Nobody gave me a copy of that book, but it's as somebody is reading it in faraway Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, the opposition in Fiji. You see, let's backspace a little bit. The opposition in Fiji had used the failure of the prime minister to handle COVID-19 to indict him of failure in governance. As a matter of fact, he said that for them to have failed to handle COVID-19, that the country had become a failed state. That also angered the prime minister and prepared him for what he's doing now, because he saw that people reacted positively to that accusation. And he didn't see it as an accusation. He didn't see his failure as anything. He thought it was just, business as usual. And believe me, because he is used of force, he's used to use of force in governance, he is going to go all the way with this. If you profile his mental state and his, Trump-like mien, that book that you've not read, I think I should bring it for you. But this man, this man wrote the forward, the Trump's book. I have written the forward. He understands what to do. But very seriously, this is an example in the Pacific that is not worth it, because if they let him stay longer than he is now, he's going to destroy that country. AIDS will go because they are really in need of AIDS, and then partners will leave the country. Those people investing in Fiji will all flee because there is no safety anymore. The security there is next to zilch. But we're praying, that it doesn't come to that, and we're looking up to New Year, to bring new things to the world.
Thank you, Bidi. Nigeria is going to have an election, presidential election, February 23rd, 2023, and with this kind of Donald Trump's book being read, but remember that it was Babangida that first prepared the background of such a book, when he will not hand over to a winner and he will simply step aside. Do you think, can you perceive whether that could happen in Nigeria come 2023? If the powers that be felt that, look, we are not convinced that a proper election has been held, and then they will not step aside. Do you think we could see something like this in Nigeria?
Of course, we should. Of course, it's possible. It's very, very possible. When they are preparing for election in Nigeria, some set of people are preparing how to go to tribunal. So with this kind of book, Donald Trump is bringing out, it's going to be a threat to the world and to the African country. In Africa is where leaders don't want to leave office. And with this kind of book, kind of legalizing it, you having rights to reject election, considering to defeat, it's very, very possible that this might happen come 2023 in Nigeria election. It's very, very possible.
Thank you very much for that. We will be watching out, especially Nigeria being a West African country. It's been happening in West Africa a lot. Don't go away. We'll be going on a break. When we return from our break, we'll be telling you how you can be a transgender in Scotland, and you will be recognized almost immediately. Also, transgender gender age has been reduced in Scotland, but there is war. The United Kingdom government, the British government, said they may not recognize that law. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Merry Christmas, everybody. To you, our esteemed customers, we wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We appreciate your support throughout the year, and we are looking forward to serving you next year. Tasty Bites. Giving you a taste band, a Tasty Bites. Ciao.
This world, changing your mindset.
Thanks for staying with us. Is News Echoes World Affairs, where we give you information across the globe and we put some analysis so that you might have an informed opinion. Here in Scotland, United Kingdom, a law has just been passed yesterday, and it's a very controversial one with the recognition of transgender at a particular age, which I'm going to give you in a second. And then it was passed overwhelmingly, but many people in Scotland are not happy. In the United Kingdom, the law has not been welcomed. So what is this law? Is the acceptance of transgender at the age of 16. That is, you are legally now in Scotland permitted to say, I was born a boy, but now I'm a girl. And now it has many implications. It's called self-identification. I might look like a boy, but I call myself a girl, and you have to accept me as a girl. It's called self-identification. And those transgenders yesterday were so happy that it's going to affect passing through the borders. You cannot call me a man when I've called myself a woman. So it's not about my appearance. It's about what I have gone through to transit from one gender to the other. It's called self-identification, not at birth. My birth certificate may be reading male, but I tell you I'm a female, so you have to accept me like that. And now the transgender age has been reduced from 18 to 16. So at 16, you can change your gender and you have to be self-identified. Before yesterday, you have to stay in the position of transition for 2 years. That is, you come up to say, I'm a male and I'm still remaining a male. Are you still getting me? Now, before yesterday, I have to stay 2 years to convince myself that I am now a female. But with the law yesterday, I only need 3 months to convince myself. And then after 3 months of announcing that I'm a female and I've convinced myself I'm a female, only for 3 months, I cannot go openly and say, I am now a female, and you have to accept it by law. Many people yesterday were annoyed, but the majority of the Scottish parliamentarians passed it. Now the British government reacted by saying that, well, we've seen that Scotland has passed it, but we may look for a way to throttle their efforts so that scuttle that effort, that law may not be recognized. But as of today, that law is standing. Dr. Sita, let me start from you. What's your opinion?
My surprise, really, my surprise is numbers 86 to 39. Were they planning it? Yeah, were they, has this been campaigned for? 86 to 39 tells you that more, more than double the number. So what you would think that such an approval would have neighbors approval, because the number is overwhelming.
Yeah.
So if I have to, if I don't have to wait to be 18, to declare, it means that I can actually, the country's population of transgender citizens will be overwhelming in the next 2 years, because this is something a teenager can do by choice. You know what teenagers do now? They just woke up in the morning and decide to dye their hair. They decide to have multiple friends. They decide to leave home. Some of them decide to leave home as teenagers, and when the law catches them, they are said no, they are underage. So at 16, you can become. I don't know if it can happen in Africa. I don't know if it can happen in Africa. I don't know, because this really shocked me when I had it, and I was hearing that the people who were counting, really, they were counting with conviction that this is going to help them. But I'm happy that you, Dr. Johnson, because I was going to ask you later what the people in Britain, were saying about this, because this is just next door, and if it's next door, you would think that
is not happy about it so far. But we still don't know, because, like you said, it's 6-39, major, overwhelmingly supported. But Billy, I'm just wondering what this world will be in 5 years. Like we know today, there is a high percentage of transgender who wants to return to the old gender, and it's costing the NHS a lot of money, because you first of all do a surgery from one gender to the other. You now come back to say
sex
sorry.
change. Sex change.
Yes, sex. Then you come back to say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Now, Biddy, what kind of world shall we find ourselves in 5-10 years time?
We'll find ourselves in a messed up world. I'm telling you, that law in Scotland will not last. It will not see the light of the day. Yes, it's been passed, but I tell you, give that law a few months before the first quarter of next year, 2023. That law is not going to stand. Now, you're saying that at 16, you now have the right to choose. Do you know what it is to be a teenager? Do you know what runs into their mind? Do you know how that being a teenager? Do you know what it is? Somebody like Dr. Osita said, you can wake up in the morning by 8 a.m. and dye his or her head white. By 12, it's changing it to blue. By 4 p.m., it's changing it to red again. You understand? These are confused generation. And you're saying people were complaining at 18. Now you're bringing it back to 16. So what will be in a mess?
Thank you. Mark in Milan, I'm thinking of marriage now. You see a beautiful girl as a man, and you say, will you marry me? All along, you've been thinking you're dealing with a straight woman who was born a woman, who remains a woman. And then she says, yes, I will. And then on the day of honeymoon, he says, I'm a transgender. What do you have to do that to her, Mark?
Interesting. But as funny as it may sound, it's a serious issue, Dr. Shogun. Let's take note that here in the West, this is how it is. I will want to bring back Dr. Sita's mind to the day, his times in America and in Europe. Dr. Sita, this is what it is. It's not going to be a crazy world, and believe me, UK, the British government will not be able to stop that thing. It will pass. It will go, because even the British people as a people believe in liberty. They believe in this
liberalism.
Yes, and Europe is like this too. In fact, in Italy, it's almost like accepted. So I'm going to also shock BD, tell you that it's not going to be crazy. This is where the world is heading to. And nobody sees it as crazy. It's just a way of life. Humanity wants freedom, and they're having it. So
Billy, I have a question for you. Sorry.
Yes, we're going to be seeing more of this, Dr. Shegun, and he's going to penetrate into Africa. They are coming. They've started pushing through.
Yeah, that's the question I wanted to ask Biddy. Bob Frisky. I don't know. Is Bob Frisky a man or a woman or what? I don't know. Yes. Tell me.
There are many of them there. Bob Risky, there's
we'll
also
have many of them. We'll have Bob Risky, we'll have George Brown, we'll have someone else. Bob Risky is originally a man. But he or she, because if you mistakenly call him he, you will have issues with him. And he, sorry, I don't even know. He's a man, he's originally a man.
We have a big community of Nigerian young men that are women now. It's not small. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of them. And it's spreading.
Where are they? Where are they? I've never seen one.
They're in Nigeria.
They're online. They're online, but many of them are not bold enough to come out. The major ones we know is Bobrisky, James Brown. You understand?
He's making money. That's why all of them are now coming out
online. Exactly. Majority of them are coming out for economic purpose, not because they actually want it.
I'm just concerned for the family that a young man should now discover that his wife-to-be is a transgender. But Dr. Sita, we've not considered that.
Let me shock you. Yeah, I know it will come to Africa and everybody is free to do what he or she. Do you know the Bobrisky we are talking about? If he's going to visit his father, he changes to a man.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well,
that was what I was going to say. That was what I was going to say. When they're coming home for Christmas in my area, they all retain their usual sex. That's what I believe. What Mark Millian said that they're in Africa, but they are hiding. They're in the closet. They're all in the closet. The acceptability of society, exactly. When they're coming home for Christmas, like this Christmas now, they're all normal people. But as soon as they get back to their stations, they go back to what they do, because when they make money, it's their livelihood. And even if they don't understand it. There are places in the north here, but I cannot point to the places where you go there and you find people, looking for same-sex relationships. So you go to a place where men dress like like women, and and after your show you go home. Nobody talks about it. So yes, it is there. It is there, but just that it is not a law. It is not a law.
Okay, you have a last say on this one, Billy.
Dr. Shegu, Dr. Star is completely correct. They are in Nigeria. Let me tell you, see, gay is a big business in Nigeria today. So many young men actually get into that, not because they want it, but because of economic gain of it. Now, a lot of them cannot come out to say, I am gay in Nigeria, because let me tell you, Nigerians are very positive people. They will come after you and they will make your life very, very unbearable. So, majority of them who are transgender are hiding it. But we have them in Africa. Nigeria, to be precise.
All right. We will bring our viewers up to date as soon as we see developments, because the British government is not having it. And as soon as they make a formal statement, I will bring it out. A massive mark in Milan. We are told that Lionel Messi's face is possibly coming up on the Argentine currency. You want the studio to show us what it's going to look like, and what are your immediate comments, Mark?
Yes.
Wow, that is it.
Very, very funny. Well, it's still a proposal. The Argentina Central Bank is planning to put Messi's face on a 1,000 peso banknote. Well, and it's to mark the Nations World Cup win in Qatar. So we hope the proposal is passed. One thing that should be noted is that yes, Messi has done a lot for Argentina. He has done a lot. Messi has played in a lot of matches, nation matches, winning a lot of tournaments. And this is him, Messi, winning the first World Cup, and also making Argentina win the first World Cup since 1986. So the bank wants to use this to commemorate with the win, and we are still looking if the proposal will be passed. So that is what is for now.
Dr. Osita, it's going to be a new one. Sportsmen are not usually found on the faces of the country's currency. We have the monarchs, the presidents, the bank governors, former bank governors. But for us to see sportsmen, and it's like it's the year of the currency. Nigeria changing currency, Britain changing currency, and now Argentina wants to put his Messi's face on their currency. What's going on with the currency? Why are they all messing up with currency these days? But this is a new one, and it's a welcoming one, isn't it, Dr. Osita?
Yeah. But also too, Dr. Johnson, Messi is a different human being. If you go back to his story, you know, he was born in Rosario, you know, he left for Europe and so on and so forth. The man is worth $600 million US. His salary is 75 million. Who in Argentina earns that? So what is wrong in putting the greatest earner on the currency? I'm just asking. Yeah, I'm not asking. So put politics aside.
You mean Argentina he earns $75 million a year? You mean that's what he earns?
Yes. His net worth today is $600 billion as we speak. So
he's richer than many countries. You mean he's richer than many countries?
Exactly. That was what I was going to say. You're putting his face on a currency. The man is worth many countries. So by the end of the day, what are we talking about? We're talking about a rich 35-year-old boy who has everything it takes, good health. He survived from being, a nothing into a superstar and took his country all the way to the top. And now everybody, even grandchildren in Abuja know his name. Kids don't know his name. And you're telling me, let his face go on the currency. It doesn't, and you'll be surprised that people will save that money. Somebody who takes a tour to Argentina will want to pick up 1,000 pesos and save it.
Bidi, will you support that? As soon as you do something for your nation, then we remove one face, we put another one. How many faces shall we put in Nigeria? Because I know Nigeria, if Argentina should go with this one, Nigeria will soon remove some faces and put a new one there. Bidi,
we'll be printing money every day in Nigeria. You know, Nigeria are very wonderful people. But you see, this messy thing, honestly, it comes to show us that things are really changing in the world. You understand? Before, these are not the kind of people you talk about putting their face in the currency. But I must be frank with you, this man, Messi, he has done a lot. Apart from being the highest end man in Argentina, even over the world, this guy is a very big philanthropist. He's a world philanthropist. He has built a lot of schools. He's paying educational fees for a lot of people across the world. The guy is too much. Lastly, this could help my country, Nigeria. This could now, change the narrative of a lot of young people in Nigeria to let them know that hard work pays, not quick fix. I'm telling you.
Okay, Billy, one question for you, and I'm very serious. I'm not joking at all. Which face should we put there now? Burna Boy, Davido, or Wizkid?
Which one should Davido now? What are you not saying? Davido, wait, let me give you an example. Burna Boy is good, Wizkid is good, but Davido is the man. What about playing in the closing World Cup? That guy is good. Apart from having the skill, apart from being humble, that guy has a good heart. And that is what the world is all about.
You see what I mean now? So if you put Messi now, so in Nigeria they say put Davido, Wizkid will say how about me, and Burna Boy will say
that in Nigeria. Please don't do that. Nobody should do that in Nigeria at all, because it's going to scatter a lot of things. We're not
Well,
doing
so
it in
Dr.
Nigeria.
Sita, don't you think this will lead to challenges across the globe once we start changing these phases of currency?
No, this is a unique one-off thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a unique one-off thing because of the history that was made by this World Cup. You know, let's see what Argentina is doing as an Argentinian team. If the Argentines believe in their person, did you see the rousing welcome?
It
Did you
was
see
too
that?
much.
Did
It
you see
was too
that
much.
that drone shot? And I hear that thing lasted for 3 days.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Argentina, the Argentina.
So if you
Tribe
make
of the Argentina.
such history, if you make such history, really, if you make such history, if you can afford to bring your country to that level of popularity, something has to be done for it. Maybe not face some currency, but if that is what the Argentines want, let them do it. We're not saying
Let
that
it
about Nigeria.
go.
There is no commitment.
But we should not adopt it in
Yes,
Nigeria. I use God, please. We don't want to.
Yeah, because
But
the central bank governor in Nigeria is so powerful, he can then change some faces and put some dancers from southern. I don't want to mention any state now, but
What are you not talking?
okay. I have to move to the next story. We could spend the next one day talking about this one. Macmillan, Sam Fried has been released from his detention after making many people to lose millions of dollars in cryptocurrency, and he was bailed on $250 million. He was shackled on his feet. He must stay in his parents' house. He mustn't leave until his case has been determined. What do you want to tell us more? This cryptocurrency, is this the way forward? Because we thought that this was a foolproof, but here was a fraudulent man, allegedly. What do you say?
Yes, Dr. Shagun. We are following this crypto thing, and the crypto thing so far has a lot of shortcomings to it. Sam Bankman defrauded people. He claims to be the FTX smart man guru, you know, and he was able to do that to a lot of people, coin them out of their hard-earned money. Well, the fact remains that he's been billed with 250 million, like you said, and he's been confined to his parents' home in California. His parents also have to reportedly put up some equity in their home as part of the bill agreement. And he has entered into a plea deal, including wire fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, campaigning against finance violation, and a lot of things. So what we are looking at is this whole thing now makes the cryptocurrency
very suspect.
Yes, that's the word. As much as like we here in Schengen media are tech savvy and we want the media, the tech world to expand, we are also not, we are careful on that crypto idea because so far it looks like a sham in a disguise, you know. It's been offered to people like a very good way of making money, a very good avenue of.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Dr. Sita, what offenses did Sam Bankman-Fried commit? What exactly? How did he do it, or what exactly did he do?
Ponzi scheme is something that you do knowing that it might go right or wrong, and you still stay there because if you had his story, right from the onset, he knew that this might not be legal in the long run, but people are attracted to quick money. So people are attracted to there are okay. Let's take an example that is very common: multi-level marketing. MLM, people come to you to say, you can do this now. When you get this, you do this. When you pay 10 now, you get 3 tomorrow. The issue is that the what do I call atom of luck in it is more, and in some cases what they do is not legal because and they won't tell you everything. So what some bankman have done was to create an impression, and you know why it is very difficult, to handle. There are really strictly no legal issues with what he's doing until it happens.
Wow.
So yes, that's the issue. So they keep doing it, making money. Some people stay in it, crash in it, and run away. But some people just do it quickly and walk into the sideline. Yes, I have a friend, a classmate, who is into it now. But this Christmas, he has slowed down because things are beginning to happen to him. One of my staff, when I worked in Umuahia, as a matter of fact, my personal assistant used to tell me, "Daddy, you're wasting time now. You're wasting time. With the kind of man you are, by now you should be buying cars. You should be doing this." I said to him, "Listen, I build entrepreneurs, and cryptocurrency is not an entrepreneurship. Yeah. It's nothing because you do nothing. You create nothing." That shook him because he sees me as father. He calls me dad. He said, "So what are they doing?" I said, "They are stealing with style. Because the style with which they use, no legal instrument can be placed against them. Otherwise, the cost would have been after them in Nigeria. But it is when it feels like this, then I say, oh, he has defrauded people. The fraud is after the fact.
Why?
Because he had done it already.
Okay. Bidi, why do people fall for
exactly?
Ponzi?
It is
why?
It is gullibility. It is gullibility. People are gullible.
Bidi, you agree with him? We can hear you.
I totally agree with him. People are gullible and they want the good things of life, but they don't want to work for it. And can I say people are becoming lazy? And it's actually working in Nigeria and is affecting a lot of people. This multi-level marketing, they come to me and I tell them I don't do it. And the thing is this, if you have followed the life of people who have been doing this for years, it still remains the same. And I tell them, see, these people are using you, people are manipulating you blindly. How can somebody use your power, your strength, your time? I tell a lot of them that, do you know, if you take your time, even if it's water you're selling, by the time you sell this water, in the next 3-4 years, your life will change. But
that's
because
right.
Our people are so much in a hurry to make money.
And in Ponzi scheme, like Dr. Osita said, you don't build any business. You just want money. Nothing for something.
They come and they use Africans because Africans are not mentally wise when it comes to money. If you just tell them, just do this and you make money.
I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to do something. I want you to wish our viewers Merry Christmas, because on Sunday is going to be Christmas time. You want to wish them on our behalf Merry Christmas. Say something nice to them.
On behalf of Schengen Media, we all here will wishing all our viewers, our friends, our well-wishers, our family members all over the world Merry Christmas. Christmas is going to be in the next 2 days on 25th of this month, December. And the reason for Christmas is love. Make sure you show love to someone. And remember, we in Schengen Media, we all love you. And we're sending out our love to you. Keep love alive. We love you all.
Dr. Sita, you second her, don't you?
Yes, I second her motion for Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you so much, Bidi. Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Thank you, Master.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, BD. That was beautiful.
Play my video.
Okay, let's see BD's video. That's how far we go today as we play BD's video. We're sure coming to your way on Wednesday again. But please subscribe and give something to BD's NGO. I'm going to do the same thing. You do the same thing. God bless you all until Wednesday when we meet again. Merry Christmas.